But we may be seeing the formulation of a game plan and tactics from this training footage from Gervonta Davis.
Anybody that gets in the ring with Tank that is not a damn dinosaur is going to feel something from it. And it ain't going to be easy to hit it.
Gervonta Tank Davis has got everyone talking after new training videos showed him looking stronger and more powerful than ever ahead of his fight with Jake Paul. The undefeated champion has bulked up and is showing serious speed and strength in the gym, making fans say this could be the most dangerous version of Davis yet. Jake Paul will be facing a fighter who seems to be in peak form. Davis, known as one of the most explosive punchers in boxing, has always grabbed attention with his knockouts and calm before the storm style. But his new training footage looks different. In the past, he focused on speed, accuracy, and movement, but now he appears bigger, stronger, and more calculated. The usually compact fighter seems to have added serious muscle, making him look both impressive and intimidating.
My biggest fear, I don't never want to get embarrassed. You know?
What you mean? How would you get embarrassed?
As far as like me not doing my job, feel me? Like I'm not worrying about nobody else because I know skill for skill, none of these guys can mess with me. Nobody. I feel like my skills is way better than like Floyd. Like if I'm on my game, well, I take it right hand in hand. But skill-wise, nobody on TV that's fighting right now have more skills than me. Nobody. Like talking about top to bottom list of fighters that's fighting on TV.
So what that got to do with you being, I guess, embarrassing? Like, cause again, we see you make posts on a story like the fight not happening. Like,
cause I don't never want to. Like, me not doing my job, like, all the way, like, me not training all the way, me not, you know? So, that's what made me, like, so I was supposed to been in camp, you know? And I wasn't in camp, so it was me, like, all right.
Oh, okay.
It pissed me off so bad that I was like, all right, I don't even want to fight no more.
Former heavyweight contender Eddie Chambers warned Jake Paul not to underestimate Gervonta Tank Davis ahead of their fight. While Jake has size and strength advantages, Chambers said Davis's speed, sharpness, and knockout power make him extremely dangerous. He added that if Jake isn't a true monster in the ring, Tank will make him look weak. Chambers believes that no matter how big Jake is, he won't be safe if he gives Davis a clear opening.
That something like this can happen, but this is social media, this is what it's created. There's a lane that Jake Paul has created. Honestly, I'm not mad at him for it. He's gotten a lot of fighters and, you know, actual fighters some shine. It also has done for women's boxing a lot. So I'm not mad at him for what he's been in boxing and what he's created. This is a little crazy right here. This is a little crazy. And a lot of people will say, Tank is too small. Let me tell you something. Anybody that gets in the ring with Tank that is not a damn dinosaur is going to feel something from it. And it ain't going to be easy to hit it. Got boxing IQ. He may not sound like an intellectual guy when you hear him talk, but he knows the ring inside and out. So there's nothing that Jake Paul can do aside from make it extremely ugly by grabbing him and probably trying to throw him to the ground. I don't know what else, bite him. I don't know, but I mean, the skill level alone. Now, of course, there is a size difference, a height difference, and all that, but he's just going to struggle so much landing a shot. You know, it's just going to look bad. To me, this is the way I see it. It's going to look bad. Tank is going to be too fast. And the punch, I believe, I'm not saying it's going to knock him out or, you know, but he's going to feel.
Davis is sending a strong warning before his fight with Jake Paul, saying he could beat a 300-pound man with no fighting experience. Known for his fast hands and knockout power, Tank believes skill beats size every time. He explained that boxing is about timing, technique, and precision, not just strength. Even against a much bigger opponent, his speed, agility, and power would make him very hard to hit.
do you think is the minimum weight of someone that could beat you in a fight?
Minimum weight?
Yeah, say someone's like 250.
Yeah, probably like 250, 220 or some shit like that.
With no experience?
Yes, sir.
Someone with no experience?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, hell no. They gotta have experience to beat me.
No, but like a 300 guy, no experience. You think you
I'm
can beat him?
I'm whooping that ass. I'm whooping that ass for sure.
Even with Davis's impressive new training and bigger physique, many fans and analysts think he might be too small to beat Jake Paul. At 5 feet 5 inches and mostly a lightweight fighter, Tank will face a big disadvantage in height, reach, and weight against the naturally larger Paul. Critics say that no matter how strong Davis looks, Jake's 190-pound frame can take more punches, and physics will play a big role in the fight.
Suddenly, we want to know who will win in this fight, Jake Paul or Tank Davis. It's a legit question, and I actually want to really hear your thoughts on who do you think is going to win, because I know what Vegas is saying, but I want to know what you think. You got
personally, I think Tank too little, bro.
Yo,
I think Tank too little.
I'm so glad you have a brain on your fucking shoulder.
I think Tank too little.
I said, bro.
I think Tank's too little. That's what I'm saying. That weight class is for a reason.
Davis
that weight class is for a reason.
5'5", 135 pounds. Jake Paul is 6 feet, 205 pounds.
That's what I'm saying.
Bro.
He's
6'1", 205. Everybody's like, yeah, bro, but Tank it only takes one good punch. Yes, it takes one good punch when you're about the same size. There's a 60, 70 pound difference in weight in these people. I don't think nobody puts the physics in mind. Jake Paul gets punched in the face by dudes 200 pounds with all their might on a weekly basis. 135-pound puncher, bro. If y'all remember the Mayweather versus Conor McGregor fight, Conor walks around like 180 on the regular. He's like 5'9", 180. Mayweather's like 5'7", 145. That 30-pound, 20, 30-pound difference, bro. If you remember that fight, Mayweather was putting mittens on Conor. Guess what happened to Conor? He didn't hit the ground once.
No.
He lasted all 12 rounds getting hit with flurries. I'm talking about Mayweather was having his time. He's being cocky with it, hitting him with all kind of combos. And we're watching the last 3 rounds of that shit like, yo, knock him out. And you know what? He could not knock him out because Conor gets punched by people that are 170, 180 pounds on a regular. And just that 20, 30-pound difference, it was like impossible for him to do anything. And that's exactly what I feel like is going to happen versus Jake and Tank.
Many fans are already comparing the upcoming Jake Paul versus Davis fight to the famous Logan Paul versus Floyd Mayweather exhibition. It's another case of size versus skill. Like Mayweather, Davis is smaller, more technical, and far more experienced, while Jake relies on size, power, and aggression. In the Logan versus Mayweather fight, Logan's size helped him stay standing, but Mayweather's precision and timing controlled the match.
Jake Paul, Tank Davis fight got moved to Miami.
I think Jake wins.
Jake's just so big, dude.
I think Jake wins.
This is different because it's similar. It's similar to Logan versus Mayweather, but Jake Paul now obviously is way more advanced than where Logan was at that moment in time.
I mean, it's just fucking sick.
I mean, yeah, no, but dude,
Jake. You ever watch his highlights?
Jake can crack, man.
He's so sick. I love that guy, bro.
Boxing analyst Aid Oladipo said this fight might be happening too early for both fighters. Unlike Floyd Mayweather and Logan Paul, who fought in an exhibition after their prime, Davis and Paul are still at their peak. He thinks the matchup is more about show than legacy and could distract them from bigger challenges. Oladipo believes the fight would make more sense later, after they've achieved more in their careers, and sees it as a risky detour that could affect their long-term goals.
Whether you agree with it or not, Gervonta is considered the #1 lightweight in the world. And it's a division that includes Shakur Stevenson, a lot of young guns coming up. I'm not any more sure if it's going to include Keyshawn Davis, but it's a hot division. He's considered #1 in that division. Like, that's why I kind of find this a bit, don't know. Like, there are challenges out there for Gervonta. There are big money fights out there for Gervonta. We want to see Gervonta in those fights. Again, I don't know how many fights people want to see AJ in, just to make the AJ Jake Paul comparison. One, as far as I'm concerned, that was Tyson Fury. I don't really have any interest in seeing an AJ in any other more fights. Whereas Gervonta Davis, I wanted and still do want to see him in so many more fights. So, yeah, it's kind of weird. These exhibition things are, like, really and truly, they should all be when your career's done. Like, when you think of Floyd versus Logan Paul, done, right? Floyd versus Conor. Did he have one more after? Was that it? I can't even remember. But it was right at the end. It was done. Right at the end. Even if it wasn't. Right at the end. These guys having these exhibition fights in between what is the peak of their career is kind of weird for me. Very, very weird. And then it isn't even comparable to Ngannou Fury, because at least these guys were the same size. Like Jake Paul is a 215, 220 pound guy. I don't know what he walks around at. Gervonta fights at 135. Guessing he walks around about 155.
At the press conference, Jake Paul highlighted his size, height, and reach advantages over Davis, saying he plans to use his longer range and power to exploit Tank's aggressive close-range style. He also admitted that beating Tank wouldn't make him an elite boxer instantly, seeing the fight as a step to prove he can compete with top opponents. His words showed confidence but also realism, focusing on earning respect through performance rather than hype or one big win.
I would say a lot of things, but I think first and foremost is going to just be my reach, my size, being able to keep him away. I think there's a lot of holes in his defense that a lot of people haven't exposed before, and he's a great fighter, one of the best. I'm excited. He's elevating me to a new height. He's making me push myself to my limits. I'm more locked in than ever, but at the end of the day, I know I'm going to be able to come out on top and outbox the guy who's been doing it for 7 times as long as me.
Jake just said that Tank has been boxing for 7 times as long as Jake has been boxing. They started out this press conference by saying Jake started boxing 5 years ago. So 7 times 5 is 35. Tank is what, 30?
Paul made it clear he's not afraid of Gervonta Tank Davis, even saying that if they met in the streets, he could handle him easily. He believes his size, strength, and power give him an edge and dismissed Tank's knockout reputation, calling him too small to scare him. The statement went viral, raising tension between their camps. While Davis focuses on training, Paul keeps talking big, promising to show that power can beat skill. With both fighters so confident, fans are expecting an explosive showdown when they finally meet in the ring.
5'8", little peon. If we were in the streets, I would grab that little ginger and smack him upside the head and make him forget who the fuck he was. People don't realize I'm a real killer. I really fucking do this shit. YouTube this, YouTube that, Disney that. This shit is not a joke. I'm knocking out the best of the best, beating all of these people time in and time again. And it's about time that you old heads and all these fucking boxers who think they know about the sport put some respect on my name.
The size difference between Davis and Paul is huge, raising concerns about fairness and safety. Davis, who usually fights around 135 to 140 pounds, will face a man nearly half a foot taller and up to 70 pounds heavier. The fight is at a 195-pound catchweight, but Jake is expected to rehydrate to about 215 pounds, while Davis will likely stay near 150 pounds. This gap is like facing a heavyweight as a lightweight. Analysts point out that skill can sometimes beat size, as in 2009 when David Haye, at 217 pounds, defeated 7-foot-tall Nikolai Valuev, who weighed 316 pounds, a nearly 100-pound difference.
Tiny man, 5'5" inches, and I reckon his in the ring weight is somewhere around 145 to 150 pounds. Meanwhile, Jake Paul is around 6 foot. We're not quite sure. I think he says he's 6'1" or 6'2". I've heard other people saying they think he's closer to 5'11", 6 foot. But the point is, he's a much taller man. And in the Mike Tyson fight, he was over 220 pounds. So the size difference is massive. This fight's been made at 195-pound catchweight. But after Jake's rehydrated, assuming there's no rehydration clause, which I don't believe there is, he'll probably weigh around 215 pounds in the ring. That means there's a sort of a 60 to 70-pound difference between the two men in the ring on fight night, which is absolutely enormous. There are weight classes for a reason in boxing, and this is the sort of thing that is typically not allowed or permitted. And like I said in my intro, it goes to the heart of that key question in boxing, which is how big is too big? It's the reason that the pound for pound list exists, where we kind of imagine if everybody was the same size, who's the best, who's number one? And it's a debate that rages on and on and on. And so when I see a fight like this, I think the hardcore boxing fans, generally speaking, have felt frustrated by it. Yes, because we want Gervonta Davis as part of the actual sport, competing for world titles against the other elite guys in his weight class. But also because if he gets knocked out and loses to Jake Paul, it creates this illusion that Jake Paul's much better than he actually is. And so I guess the question for me is, can Gervonta Davis beat Jake Paul, or will Jake Paul simply be too massive? Can Jake Paul use his size, or will Gervonta Davis simply be too skilled? What's the answer here? And in trying to answer this, I looked to history. And there's one fight that immediately popped out of my mind and I thought, I wonder what the size difference was there. In fact, it may even be more significant. And it was, and the small guy won. Some of you might be thinking about it right now. It's when David Haye took on the monster, the absolutely ginormous human being, Nikolai Valuev. I think it took place around 2009. So at the time, I was literally a teenager. I didn't have a clue what I was looking at, and I'd fully bought into this David versus Goliath story. But I think it's an excellent example here to draw comparisons between the Gervonta Davis-Jake Paul fight to try and understand whether or not this is a good template and blueprint to try and predict and understand what the size difference might look like in the ring. Now, David Haye was 6'3" and was 217 pounds for the Valuev fight.
Despite Valuev's huge size and reach, Haye used speed, timing, and movement to outbox him and win. This fight is seen as a modern David versus Goliath example, showing that even though Davis is much smaller than Jake Paul, his skill, technique, and strategy could still give him a chance to win.
This means that the weight gap was just a tiny bit under 100 pounds, which is obviously 40 pounds more, 35 pounds more than the gap between Davis and Paul. And there was a 9-inch gap in their height versus what seems to be a 7-inch height gap between Gervonta Davis and Jake Paul. And if you go back and watch that fight, David Haye wins it fairly comfortably. He uses his speed, his power, he moves around the outside of the ring and comprehensively outboxes Valuev, even hurting him at one point in the fight. I remember getting so excited seeing it and thinking, God, he's actually managed to wobble the giant. This is ridiculous. And so on the surface, that was a bigger gap, a harder fight for David Haye than Gervonta Davis might find Jake Paul as an opponent. The size gap was significantly bigger. And Nikolai Valuev was a guy who won over 50 fights. You know, this was an actual competitive heavyweight boxer who'd beaten some decent names.
Popular streamer Aiden Ross believes Jake Paul will surprise everyone against Gervonta Davis, saying anyone who doubts him doesn't understand boxing. Ross points out that Jake has improved with every fight and can now challenge even top-level boxers. He rejects critics who call Jake just a YouTuber, noting that Jake has already proven himself in the ring. Jake also said he has cleared all USADA drug tests and agreed to random testing to prove his strength and endurance are natural, not from performance-enhancing drugs, saying, "No excuses."
For all of you Karens who accuse me of being on steroids as the reason for winning all of my fights, we have the strictest drug testing possible for this match. U.S. Anti-Doping Agency. Random drug tests at any moment. Oh, look. They're here now.
Hey, USADA, he in the car. Looking good. See if you're on steroids. Clean as a whistle, contrary to what they say.
Analysts agree that Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis is more than just a boxing match. It's a global event. With Jake's fame and Tank's top-level skill, the fight goes beyond regular matchups like Canelo versus Crawford, showing that entertainment and mainstream appeal play a big role in modern boxing.
I mean, especially Tank been talking about retiring, so why not get the bag and then go about your business if that's your plan? I mean, if that's your plan to retire, then go get the bag and go about your business. You ain't doing nothing wrong. I'm not against it.
You got some people that are very critical, Tank. Does it make sense depending on what you're in boxing for? Because you got some people that want to fight the best. You got some people that want the accolades, the belts, the undisputeds. And you got some people that just came in this game like, look, I'm trying to get my family out of poverty and give us generational wealth. Does it all depend on what you decided to box for?
Well, Tank accomplished a lot at a young age.
Will Tank's skill and power beat Jake Paul's size and confidence, or will Jake surprise everyone again? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, and stay informed. Stay tuned for more updates, and let's keep our news accurate.